My name is Emilian, and I'm extremely passionate about bringing or making 1 million health professionals able to deliver better care to 1 billion people using technology and at a fraction of the cost that it costs today. So I'll start with very quick, how does it work actually? We'll start with a very quick personal story, actually, because as I said earlier, you know, what I'm doing currently came from a personal problem. So this was not many years ago. It was actually back in, I think, 2015. After, you know, a long career of management consulting, venture capital, startup building, not sleeping, not eating well, not taking care of my health, I ended up being extremely sick. So saw a doctor in Cape Town back in 2014, and he said, if you keep doing what you do, you're going to hit a wall very, very soon. And this was a picture, I think I was, you know, extremely high cholesterol, high glucose, blood glucose, high HbA1c, everything goes high, everything goes in red. I was not sleeping. I still remember, you know, not more than 10 years ago, I told my mom that I'm going to sleep when I'm going to be dead. And she was very, very upset. So anyways, I was not taking care of myself, and the numbers were showing. And this is something coming from one of my wearables. Time to ease up. So my body said, no more. Doesn't mean that I shouldn't continue building companies or doing business, but I need to take care of myself. And I love measuring. I love numbers. I come from a very analytical background. So I look at my own numbers the same way I look at the company numbers. And the numbers were bad. And well, I started to take care of myself. So I went through this journey of, you know, looking at how can I improve those numbers, you know, through better eating. And difficult one when you live in Africa, and I've been around for 15 years, you know, in Cairo for a year with shawarmas in the street, in Nairobi with chapatis, and you know, not that healthy food. It's not easy, but trying to improve my health through nutrition, through meditation, through cold, through hiking, nature, etc. And it worked. And that's where I'm today. I feel better, and my numbers look better than when I was in my 20s, and I'm 49. Those are the numbers. The numbers were clearly, my cholesterol went significantly down. My ApoB, which is another cardiovascular measurement, went down. My sleep improved. My heart rate variability improved. My heart rate improved. So everything looks good. But I live in Africa, and I've been around for 15 years. And I see how, unfortunately, people do not take care of themselves because they don't have the means. They don't have the means, they don't know, no one tells them. And this is a picture I took a month ago in a supermarket in one of the low-income areas of Nairobi, where one of our clinics is located. And what can you see here? Probably what you see in Cairo as well. Hydrogenated oils, sugar, what else? Fake milk, or dead milk, bad carbs. So it's no doubt that when people eat this all day long, and because they either don't have what to eat, or because this is extremely cheap, they will get very sick. And that's where they go to seek care. This is a corner clinic in Nairobi, just in the outskirts of Nairobi, one of the 20,000 or more points of care where people go and seek healthcare. And I'm talking about 80–90% of the people in Kenya, and pretty similar percentages in the rest of Africa. So that's how I started Ilara Health, actually. Coming from a very, very personal problem, improving my own health, looking at the numbers, showing that it works, but being on the continent, being in places which will not afford to do what I did for myself, but will afford a bit. If there is a way to use technology to measure, treat, continuous measuring, and treat again. And my dream has been for many, many years, since I've started my own journey, to bring a small chunk of what I do for myself to the people in the place where I live. And back in 2018, so remember I was transitioning out of a fund which I used to run. I was in Kenya, and I started to visit small corner medical shops. I call them mom and pop shops. Some people call them clinics. They're actually clinics. To understand, what's the problem and is there anything I can do about this problem. And I met one of the clinicians. This is a lady called Diana who runs a small clinic in the outskirts of Nairobi. And like her, there are 10,000 privately owned mom and pop medical shops. There are 20,000 small clinics in general in Kenya. So, I mean, I'm not sure how does it compare to here, but if I compare to, if you just Google how many GPs are in England, there are about 6,000. So Kenya has 20,000. So very often we say there is no access to care in Africa. Well, there is actually a lot of access to care, but the quality of care is the way you saw it in that picture. So meeting Diana and meeting other clinicians like her, she's not a doctor, she's a nurse actually. I was trying to understand, what, I was asking her what are the problems, what are the issues that you see, and she was telling me, like many others, we have pregnant moms coming daily and in the need for an ultrasound, for a scan, and we don't have money to buy an ultrasound. Or there are people coming with, with high blood pressure, high blood sugar, so cardiovascular, diabetics, and we cannot treat them because we don't have the instruments, and we send them into the public sector, which is either inexistent or doesn't have instruments either, so those people will remain untreated. So that's how all this idea of what we do today came, which is how to find economically viable solutions to help clinicians like Diana to provide better quality of care using technology. And literally what we do today is we step into those clinics and we upgrade them. We start with diagnostic devices in a leasing model. We place a device, maybe be it a portable ultrasound, being a full blood count machine, being a vital monitor on the desk of the clinician, on a leasing model over 2 to 3 years. So it's literally asset financing. We give them credit to buy, we sell on credit medication, but we digitize them before. So we place a platform to understand their revenues and their patient issues. Like in a, if I was to do VC, I would have said, I do a pray and spray strategy over 1,000 and 1,000 of clinics where I give something on credit. I identify, I look at their numbers, and I pick up the best players. And the best, I'm going to top up. And that's exactly what we do. And I like same like for myself, the before and after pictures. So that's what we were doing before, and that's how we look today. A lab, a pharmacy, the clinic in itself. So over time, since we started in mid-2019, we've worked with over 2,500 clinics out of those 10,000 privately owned, small primary care medical clinics in Kenya. And the results are actually good by doing this model of let's call it, I call it flexible financing, right? Where we make revenue out of a mix of leasing, diagnostic devices, selling technology, giving credits for consumables and medication, and even taking a revenue share out of those clinics. We've been able actually to transform a significant number of clinics at all of the levels. Clinicians are happy because today can offer more things that they were not able to offer before: diagnostics, better medication, cheaper medication, be a one-point shop for all those mid to low-income individuals who seek care in their neighborhood, and be better than other clinics, right? In each street you step out of your house in Nairobi, if you live in the outskirts, you're going to be 20 clinics and 100 pharmacies. So be better than the other clinicians around. The patients are happy, the clinicians are happy. We measure the Net Promoter Score, and we generate revenue. I think that's extremely important. Clinicians generate revenue because they provide more staff. We generate revenue because they pay us. Patients are happy. And we closed last year with about $1.5 million in revenue at a very good gross margin. We're growing. Hopefully this year we're going to close 4 to 5 million. Low default. So the model works, but we're still touching the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. And look, we've been very fortunate. We've made a lot of mistakes. I mean, what we're building is really something which doesn't really exist. We're not building clinics from scratch. We're not building hospitals. We literally do financing of micro-medical SMEs. in the healthcare space. And that's something which is very new. And we can inspire from models in the US, we can inspire from models in other places in the world. But it's like left and right, left and right. So we've been extremely fortunate, made mistakes, corrected the mistakes, keep growing. And we've been fortunate to have actually people who supported us. Some of the investors are in this room. We've raised both equity and debt and grants. Just closed a round actually a couple of months ago. But again, we're very, very still early in my opinion. What we're trying to build here is a whole ecosystem. It's not a telemedicine platform, it's not building clinics, it's actually supporting local and medical entrepreneurs to grow by giving them whatever they need, technology, assets, and other elements, by also helping the patients with financing. So we're about to build a patient-focused model as we grow, and eventually going out of Kenya and then tackling a lot of other markets in Africa. There are about 200,000 small nurse-led medical practices in 7 markets in Africa. So it's extremely fragmented. So we really consolidated this market. So this is about what we do, and then I'd love to talk to the people in the room and outside, whoever is interested to learn more about what we do, whoever is interested to give us ideas. Again, there's so many things we don't know. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Fantastic. Give them a big round of applause. Solving complex problems. That's what entrepreneurship is. Do you have any questions? Any questions for Ilara Health? Even if you're their investors, that's okay. You asked all your questions. That was a rough DB.
You asked all the questions before.
Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Hi, yeah, thank you for your presentation. And I think we met a couple years ago, so it's great to see your journey thus far. Congratulations. Just 2 quick ones from me. Given you're already at, a good Series B and beyond, like what kind of investors are you kind of looking to, be involved in the further journey? Will it be kind of different types of investors you'll be looking to partner with? And second is, I believe, besides the financing, you were also kind of considering like owning the assets and kind of pivoting to that kind of model. We'd love to kind of hear, if there's any kind of findings or updates around that side of the business as well.
Sure. No, thank you. Sure. So, look, in terms of type of capital that we raise, finally, I would look at the type of investor related to what we do really. So, someone can call us a financing company, an asset leasing company in the medical space. Some other people can call us a chain of tech-enabled primary care clinics in the mid to low income. Some others can call us a technology company in healthcare. So depending on which one, we do everything, but depending on the angle the market would look at us, we need help. And we've got extremely good investors today in our cap table, both on the equity and on the debt side and on the grant side, who've been helping us with anything from strategic advice, local expertise, medical expertise. But if I was to think who would be the next level, the next stage investors, is really strategic investors. Healthcare companies who can help us, thinking how do we transform this early stage ecosystem that we're building into a big ecosystem. My dream is to see a few thousand of those clinics across multiple markets in Africa in the next 7 years, with the same brand, the same quality of care, the same technology. Serving those people, and that's a long way to go from where we are. So it's really strategic investors, medical companies, pharma, but also investors from the kind of the financing space, because we are at core of financier. So we've raised debt, we've raised DFI debt, we've raised commercial impact debt. So another type of investor would be debt funds and financial. And fintech investors, where we can raise both equity, but also cheaper debt. The challenge is that if we cannot lend at a right cost, we need to lend expensively, making those clinics more difficult, making their life more difficult to pay back. So cheap capital or affordable capital on the debt side is also extremely important. And we've raised lately a good amount of that, and we need more. So that's on the investor side. I think that's okay. The second question was
owning the assets.
Sorry?
Like owning the assets versus like actually owning your own assets and
owning
clinics.
the assets. So in an ideal case, one would want to be asset light, right? We don't want to build the clinic, the infrastructure. In an ideal way, in an ideal case, we would actually own the revenue streams generated by those assets, or some of the revenue streams, and then all the ingredients for the revenue streams, right? So if we place an asset, call it a portable ultrasound, or call it a blood test machine, we would, finance the machine or finance the meds with that, and then get revenue streams out of that instrument, out of the top line of the clinic, or out of the instrument specifically. But in an early stage, it's very difficult to raise that. So we were financing in early stage all those assets through equity. We started more recently to finance through that. So we've raised the first bigger amount of that mid 2022. So in an ideal case, we will not own the assets. We would own the revenue streams, and we would own the brand. That's why we started to have those clinics where we brand them. So this becomes a brand, a consumer brand, so we can take a revenue share of the clinic.